All right, let's bring in someone who's run for elective office and has had millions of constituents, Laura Kern. Well, Laura, welcome in. Thank you for joining. We haven't seen you in a while.
Hi,
Appreciate
good
you being
morning.
part of it. Tell us what's on your mind today.
So, what's on my mind is this conversation about getting rid of people who came here illegally, but who don't have a criminal record and haven't really been accused of a crime. And okay, so
Well,
let's say,
I'm sorry to interrupt, but they did commit a crime. They came here illegally.
yes, yes, okay, granted, they came here illegally, and that is a crime. But are you comfortable if you think it's okay to just throw these people out without due process? I just want you to think about if, because the pendulum always swings back, somebody else will be in charge of this country, will be in charge. Are you comfortable with due process being gone? What if it's you that are the new enemy, or your friend or your neighbor? Would you be comfortable with the authorities being able to pluck them and send them to a foreign country? And we can talk about, how horrible it is at that prison in El Salvador. Would you be comfortable with that? That's my question. So let's say, who knows, maybe some of these people are really bad and they've done terrible things, but we don't know. And so this due process that is provided to us, which is such a gift, such a beautiful thing that we really haven't seen in other countries, we haven't seen in much of our history as a species, is it are why are you comfortable being so flippant with it?
Well, I assume that's because I don't know that Dan qualifies as flippant. Um, because we're a nation of laws. You come in, if I come into your house, Laura, do you think you have the right to kick me out?
Absolutely.
Oh, but it's okay to come into the country and stay here illegally. You broke our laws.
Right, but the police would come and arrest you. The police would
Right,
go
send
through
you to
the
court
court
and
system.
issue you to be deported, which happened.
But no, I think what she's saying is not. Correct me if I'm wrong, Laura. She's talking about playing this out, which is if you skip steps or you say we're going to move people out of the country or we're going to move the Tufts woman down to a Louisiana, prison or holding center. At what, you're starting to cross due process lines. I
Right.
think that's what you're saying.
Yeah,
exactly, Dan. Yes.
But Laura, you said, what if it happens to you? I'm a U.S. citizen. You're a U.S. citizen. Dan is. Mark is. That's you. There's a big difference between someone who breaks the law, who is in this country illegally, and someone who is a citizen. And there is no discussion about U.S. citizens right now being deported from a country. So it's a false argument in the first place to say, what if it happens to you? It won't. That's not even we're talking about
that's not entirely.
Also,
and there are a set of due process for immigrants, illegal immigrants. There are the optics of this are terrible politically. John,
why is it? But here's the point, Laura. I guess my question, I'll flip it back on you. Why is it so the idea that why are some people on the left okay with certain laws being broken? What other laws are okay not to follow? So it's okay to come into the country illegally. Which other laws are okay not to follow?
So, Sean, I would say that I was very disappointed with the Biden administration in their first couple of years where they just did not enforce border policy. That's wrong. There should be laws. We should have say over who
there are
comes
laws.
in.
There are no, it's not that there should be. There are laws. They weren't followed.
Yes, correct. And they should have been followed. I am not excusing allowing people willy-nilly into this country because of what seems to me to be political cowardice on the left or people who want to appease the far left. So yes, we need laws. They're incredibly important. We should say who can come in, when, how, why, etc. 100%. But I'm saying that once they're here, and they've been here for a long time, and he's got the valid work visa and the family and all this stuff. Due process is really important, even for those that we don't want, don't like, or, let's see if he actually has been a criminal. Let's let the process play out.
So what if he doesn't committed a crime here, but he was an MS-13 gang member in El Salvador? Is that you going to roll the dice that he's going to be okay here in the United States?
Well, I'm not someone who has a lot of sympathy for MS-13 gang members, and I wouldn't defend them. I would say, as you said earlier, Sean, that being a member of a gang itself is not a crime. Not that I don't want to defend MS-13, but you got to prove a crime.
Really?
Well,
So the crime-
not to deport someone who's here
No, you
illegally. You
don't.
don't.
They're here illegally. They broke the law. And then if we realize that their background, I mean, that's what you wouldn't have issued the visa. in the first place. We tried to come-
Sean, based on all you know, why has the administration said on several occasions it was a mistake to send him?
They didn't. The
They
lawyer
did. No, they did.
No, the lawyer did, and that lawyer has
No.
been dismissed.
Several other officials did too.
I mean, that is a new talking point now, that this is a rogue Democratic, like deep state
just-
official. That is not.
They may have changed their mind, but several
Right.
officials, not just the one lawyer, said it was a mistake to send him.
And I mean, I don't know why that initial, interpretation was made. And my guess, having been there before, is that that's what DOJ said and that they were going to do this, and then everyone echoed that talking point.